Hello everyone, welcome to Module 1 Poetry Some Key Concepts. We were discussing the basic elements of poetry. Till now, we have discussed prosody, figures of speech, among them simile and metaphor, personification, oxymoron, metonymy, synecdoche, and transferred epithet. Now, let us study about various types of poetic forms. Various types of poetic forms. There are several types of poetry. You have studied about some of them. For example, sonnet, ode, etc. As I said, there are various types of poetry. They are written according to the rules of composition. For example, sonnet should have 14 lines. If you are planning to write a sonnet, you should limit your poem to 14 lines. So there are rules. Haiku is a type of poetry. You might have heard about it. Haiku is composed with 3 lines, only 3 lines. So what you must understand is that there are several types of poems. Each of these poems are written according to the rules of composition. Now, let us study about some poetic forms. Let us begin with lyric. I think you are familiar with the word lyric. The words of a song, the lines of a song, it is often called lyric. That is a contemporary meaning of the word. However, lyric is a type of poem. The word lyric comes from the Greek word lyra. It is a musical instrument. This is lyra. It is an ancient musical instrument. So the word lyric comes from the Greek word lyra. The Greek word mel is also associated with lyric. Mel. Mel means melody, sequence of musical notes. So we have learned two Greek words which are associated with lyric, lyra and mel. With this, we understand that lyric is associated with music. Lyra is a musical instrument. Mel is associated with melody. So both these words are intimately connected with music. So we must understand that lyric is something closely associated with music. So in the context of poetry, not the contemporary meaning of lyric, in the context of poetry, lyric is a poetic form. It is a poem composed with the purpose of singing. All poems are not composed with the purpose of singing. Lyric is a poem composed with the purpose of singing. Lyric poems are noted for their sensuality. Sensuality means pleasing to the senses. So we have five senses. Lyric poems are noted for their sensuality. It will please us, please our ears, please our feelings. Then passion, strong emotion. Then brevity, being short. Lyric poems are not very long, they are relatively brief. So being short. Coherence of metrical nature. Lyric poems are written in a meter, a metrical pattern. It's a rule of composition. Then subjectivity, personal tone. So these are five important features associated with lyric poems. Sensuality, they will be appealing our senses. Passion, strong emotion. Brevity, being short. Coherence of metrical nature. So there is a uniform metrical nature. It is written according to a particular pattern. Then subjectivity, personal tone. There will be a speaker in the lyric poem, but the speaker is not necessarily the poet. There will be a speaker. Don't think that that person, the speaker, is necessarily the poet. It can be a character as well. In British literature, Romantic period is considered as the golden period of lyric poems. Some famous lyric poets are Burns, Robert Burns, Wordsworth, William Wordsworth, Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Shelley, P.B. Shelley, Alfred Tennyson, Robert Browning, and Matthew Arnold, and others. Today, the word lyrics is used for the words in a song. Lyric is one among the three types of poetic literature. Three of them are lyric poems, narrative poems, and dramatic poems. Some examples of lyric poems are The World is Too Much with Us, William Wordsworth, A Dirge, Christina Rossetti. So here is an example of a lyric poem written by Emily Dickinson. It's called Dying. You can read the poem in order to understand the features of a lyric poem that we have given, that we have discussed right now. I will read a stanza. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness round my form was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. Now let us move on to ode. Ode. Ode is a type of lyric poem. Ode belongs to a subcategory of lyric poem. Ode is a poem written addressing somebody or something or some idea. So this is an important feature that you should remember. Ode is a poem written addressing somebody or addressing something or addressing some idea. Observe the titles of odes. Ode on a Grecian urn, Ode to Skylark, Ode to a Nightingale. So They are dedicated to something or someone. Often, odes start with an address, calling somebody or something. For example, ode on a west wind starts like this: "O wild west wind," like that. Odes are introduced to English literature by the poet Abraham Cowley. He wrote odes in English, imitating the odes written by Pindar, the ancient Greek poet. Odes are noted for their grand nature. It is written in grand style. Subject, emotion, and style are given a high and powerful character. Length of the poem can go up to 150 lines but not limited to it. These are some of the features: grand style, grand nature, subject, emotion, and style are given a high and powerful character. Length can go up to 150 lines but not limited to it. There is a sub-variety of O called personal ode. A sub-variety of ode called personal ode, which was used by Horace, the Roman poet. This ode has uniform stanza patterns like odes, unlike odes of Pindar. The odes of Pindar are not having uniform stanza pattern, but personal ode is having uniform stanza pattern. Odes of Shelley and Keats are examples of personal ode. Here is an example, an excerpt from Percy Bysshe Shelley's famous ode, Ode to the West Wind. I will read these two stanzas. O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being, thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven, like ghosts from an enchanter fleeing, yellow and black and pale and hectic red, pestilence-stricken multitudes, O thou who chariotest to their dark wintry bed. So today we have seen lyric and ode. We will continue our discussion later. Thank you.